Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? All right, Saints have signed a running back. Aaron Wilson of Pro Football Network first reported the Saints signed Derrick Gore. They tried him out for a group of free agents, which were first reported by Nick Underhill. Gore is 27 years old. This is someone who may be familiar to people in these parts. So Gore started his college career at the University of Alabama and then transferred to ULM. So he played a couple of seasons in Monroe. He was an undrafted free agent when he came into the NFL. And last year played with the Kansas City Chiefs there in 2021 and was productive with his limited opportunities. Played in 11 games for the Chiefs and ran 51 times for 256 yards. So he averaged 5 yards a carry, scored a couple of touchdowns. And a year ago, Clyde Edwards-Helaire had some injury issues, as we know. Darrell Williams was there as well. Now he's left as a free agent, but Gore was in that mix when they had some injuries. So also had 8 catches for 105 yards, so a guy who can catch the ball out of the backfield, which we know the Saints like to do. And considering the injury to Mark Ingram, who was also on the injury report Wednesday, as it was released to the media, Gore likely fits into that role where the Saints just, of course, released Jake Funk, which, much to my chagrin. They've got Jordan Howard still available on the practice squad. And now you've signed Derrick Gore as well to complement Alvin Kamara and Dwayne Washington. On Monday Night Football, we saw Dwayne Washington actually get a few touches, but Jordan Howard and Derrick Gore would be those options there as well throughout this week of practice, and then potentially, if you need him in the game on Sunday in Pittsburgh. So Derrick Gore, former ULM running back, is signed with the New Orleans Saints to add some depth at the running back position, but it's a little dire at this point. We talked so much this offseason about the need for the Saints to go address running back. Really was hoping that they do it in the draft. But as it happened, the Saints ended up trading up, trading assets to trade up, and there wasn't a spot in the draft where they could take it back. They put a lot of eggs in the basket of Abram Smith, the undrafted free agent running back out of Baylor. That unfortunately didn't work out, and it's been a revolving door. Of course, they brought in Latavius Murray, who they love to have here, and then, of course, he got poached off the practice squad by the Denver Broncos, and they've tried multiple other things at this point. Jordan Howard's there, now Derrick Gore. This feels, I'm not going to overstate anything relating to this. It feels very much like a Band-Aid on a broken leg. The Saints are just trying to patch holes in a leaking, sinking ship right now, to make it through to the end of the season and as just as good a shape as they can to try to then reassess. Just the crazy part is their game out of first place. So it's a benefit that in a normal year, if you were looking at a team that was 3-6, just past the halfway point, you would already be talking about what's next. Like, what's next for the future? What are you going to address in the offseason? Just by comparison, New England is in last place in the AFC East. They're 5-4. They're 2 games better than the Saints, and they're in last place. Cleveland's at 3-5. The Steelers, who the Saints are going to play this week, are at 2-6. They're in last place in their division. It's just assumed they're going to miss the playoffs. Jacksonville's at 3-6 right now. The Denver Broncos are at 3-5. The Washington Commanders are last in their division. They're 4-5. They're a game better than the Saints. They're last in their division. The Saints are a game out of first place. So it's just for context when you look around the Cardinals, who beat the Saints. They're 3-6. They're last in their division. A lot of these teams are already planning for next year. And the Saints still have a legitimate shot at a playoff berth because they can win a bad division. So it's odd that we're looking at how do you find a way to win as many games as you can to maybe sneak into the playoffs. But even if you do that, one of the things I say often is winning masks deficiencies. And even if this team were to somehow find a way to get to 7 or 8 wins and win a wackadoo tiebreaker in a terrible division, that doesn't mask the deficiencies that you have on this roster and within this organization. And hopefully it doesn't. And there are a lot of wholesale changes in this offseason that are needed to make sure they can compete consistently again, because right now they're not close to that. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.